What's good, everybody? It's the boy KD, better known as Kumano the Don, or currently right now known as Kumano the Don, on the Twitch scene. I know I've been saying this for a while now, but I'm back at it now. This is going to be the first official video to come back to YouTube so we can actually get more YouTube content created for you guys. Alright? And as you see from the title, this is called Y2 Play Ark. That's right, we're doing a video to let you guys know, for those who don't play it, why you want to get into playing Ark. Now, Ark, full name, Ark Survival Evolved, is a game based with the premises of you being stranded in a world where dinosaurs and such are roaming, and it's just you, and you have to survive. You know, you wake up on this island and you got to get it how you live. And that premise is actually something that's actually relatively interesting. It's a very interesting concept to a video game, in all honesty, because you know there are games that throw you into the wild and stuff of that nature, but typically there's always something going on, like you're not completely alone. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you can either recruit NPCs or there's NPCs around somewhere. With Ark, there are no NPCs. None. So, for that aspect of it, it's just you, it's your dinos. That's what this is. And it's about survival. Okay? And so, I'm going to give you some points into, like I said, why I believe that you should get into playing it. Because, I mean, Ark is actually a good game. Let's go ahead and get started off here. Let me quit rambling. So once you get into Ark, you have a few options that you can actually do in terms of playing. Well, not a few, but about 3 options in total. You can join a server, or you can go into local and host your own server. If you come over to the bottom right hand of the corner, you have different game modes that you could play depending on what you're on. Me, I'm playing from Windows 10 version of it, so you're gonna have just regular Survival Evolved, and then you have Primitive Plus. Where if you switch over to Primitive Plus, it's gonna load back in, and now you got Primitive Plus, where Primitive Plus actually offers a bit more roughness to the game, as well as some ease to the game as well, in which that's one of the aspects that I want to touch on. One of the first aspects, that Ark in itself is what you make of it. It can be easy, it can be hard, it's all depending on you, and that goes into the settings. So I'm gonna show you solo player right now. So if you're in solo player, or you know, host slash local, you got over here on the left hand side, you got general, you got advanced. Those are the 2 settings in which helps make your game easy or hard. And you got a lot of different aspects into it in which that you can actually go through. But in terms of the difficulty level, it's right here. You got a bar, which the bar can be set to 1. Now I want to say that they actually changed the default setting. These ain't the default settings that I actually have on here. This is something that I have set up to make the game a little more difficult for me. But you can make the game as difficult as you want, because you can come over here to the number box, whether you're on console or PC, no matter what version of it, and change the number of it and have the difficulty set to what you want. You can also have the dino damage change to what you want, in which that's the damage that dinos itself, not just your dinos, wild dinos, will actually be dealing out. Okay, and this is your damage. How much damage will you be dealing out? How much damage structures can take and stuff of that nature. Your resistance, dino resistance, the structure resistance is how much damage it could take. And then this is the XP multiplier. Show you how much well, not show you, but it lets you know how much XP that you know actually be gaining, and taming speed and stuff of that nature. Because in Ark you actually have to tame dinos. You got that aspect of it, and the list goes on, and it gets like, I know it may seem like it's complicated, but it's really not. Like, it's really not. Like, a lot of this stuff you really don't have to worry about unless you just want to get deep into detail on how specific you actually want your art to be in terms of difficulty. And along with that, like I said, I was just showing you the solo aspect of it. Now, you if you wanted to play online on a server so you can actually play with other people and actually have the real feeling of an RPG where people are around, MMO RPG or regular RPG, whichever one, it based off the server that you go to and stuff of that nature. Me, I play on the server called So You Want to Have Fun. Okay, we are a cluster and we're unofficial. So, anybody that might be wondering and want to join in, you're more than welcome to come by and check us out. But typically on an unofficial server, it's going to be boosted in some sense. It may not be boosted, but there's a chance that it's going to be boosted. But you got different aspects of the server as well as that, what map you want to go to. So if you go down here to the bottom, like I was saying, how we're unofficial, it's an unofficial PC server. Now you're going to run into that on consoles. Like, you don't see that option in like Steam. I don't know about Epic. I haven't tried Epic yet. But yeah, you also got official dedicated. You got player dedicated, where a player is actually hosting it, and then you got non-dedicated, where it's the same thing, a player is hosting it, but it's a different aspect to it. Then you also got legacy servers. Well, legacy servers give you, some of the older content and stuff of that nature, older settings and stuff. But like I said, I like sticking to unofficial because unofficial is actually fun for me, because I'm not restricted to things. Because with official, there's a lot of rules that's in play, and in most cases, it's going to be to make the game more difficult for you, if you will. But you also have some that actually offer the aspect of, okay, well, if you're a newer player, you can play on this server, and then after so many levels, you will actually have to leave this server and go over to another one. But like I said, that's just some aspects of it. And then you got how you want to go about it, which that's in game mode. You can go PvE, which that's what I play. I like to actually relax when I'm playing Ark. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be focused into stress. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. The other aspect of it is PvP. I'm sorry about that, which is player versus player. PvE is player versus environment, and PvP is player versus player. Where this one, you actually have raids and so much stuff, that you have to worry about when you're actually playing the game. Because in this world of ours, and when I say world of ours, I mean Earth, people like to compete against each other. Nothing wrong with competition. I don't mind it myself, but you got to have that aspect when it comes to most games these days, or else people aren't going to want to be a part of it, because they want to be able to attack other people. It helps relieve stress, in all honesty. But like I said, I prefer PvE, and I actually suggest PvE for newer players, in which I actually suggest that you actually start here in the host, local, or solo player aspect of it. Now, right now, Ark is included in Xbox Game Pass. So if you get Xbox Game Pass, you will get the base game of Ark, where you will have the maps that you will actually have access to is called the Island, as well as the custom arcs, which is the Center, Ragnarok, and Valgaro. And once Crystal Isles drops, supposedly sometime in September, you'll actually have access to it too. So it's not like you'll be getting the game and you won't have anything to do. You have to buy the DLC. The only reason that you have to buy the DLC is if you just want to, play the story. And a lot of people actually, they want to play the story. that's Zeus. Don't mind him. He likes being able to make noise while I'm doing this. Like if I wasn't doing this, he would just be laying there asleep. But it's the fact that anyway, forget Zeus. Like I was saying, yeah, if you want to play the story portion of the game or follow the whole story, then you'll get the DLC. I know it's a bit paywally, if you will, but the people that made Ark, they're not a mainstream company. Okay, it's they're called Wildcard, and you know they're not popular. They're not up high. Something like EA or Rockstar or Bethesda, something of that nature. But they're okay. You know, like they got their downfalls, just like any gaming company. But for the most part, it's not a bad idea because they offer many different ways that you can actually have all of the DLC maps. You can get all of the DLC maps by buying the game bundle. That's called, I think it's called the Explorers Edition, I believe. Then you got this, which it comes with the season pass, but then you can just buy the season pass if you decide that you like it, rather than buying the Explorer Edition from the start. As well as you might be able to catch it on sale somewhere. You never know. Or something that could be done if you actually plan on the Xbox One and Microsoft 10 version of it is if you got a friend that has Ark and they have all of the stuff, all you would need to do is make your Xbox their Xbox home. Then you'll have access to everything that they have access to. And which that's actually a good way if you don't really have a lot of money to invest into games and stuff of that nature. But I digress. But so, like I said, one of the maps that you'll actually be able to get on is the island. And like I said, I suggest you do solo player, which, like it says right here, Lord, play single player. I can't talk this morning apparently. Now, run dedicated means you're running a dedicated server, meaning your plan is to play with your friends in just y'all world or your world that you have set up. Create procedural Ark. I'm not too clear about that. I've never delved into it. But apparently you can make custom arcs or something of that nature. I'm not quite sure. That's something that you can actually check out another YouTube video about. After I do some for sciencing about it, I might actually make one eventually. But for right now, I don't know anything on it. So please don't ask me about it. And then host a non-dedicated session. That means you're actually using, like, for instance, you could be using your Xbox to actually host a server. Now, you wouldn't be able to play, but you would be able to host. So that means you'll at the very least need 2 Xboxes or an Xbox and a computer if you plan on playing that way. So that way you can actually play with your fans that way. Because actually hosting a non-dedicated one, it actually leaves you some more room. It actually gives you a lot of room. Because with the run dedicated server, you and your friends got to stay within a certain radius of each other. Like y'all can't separate. Like, this person can't go to the volcano while you go to the ocean and do 2 different things. But on the host non-dedicated one, it'll be just like you actually on a server where everybody can go and do their own thing. So like I said, I recommend that once you start off, you go into single player. Now, one of the things that Ark has in terms of a downfall is, like I said, it's a thing called getting Ark in the Ark community. It has bugs, okay? Like, you can crash and it possibly lose all of your stuff, okay? You can lose absolutely everything. So just be worried about that. But we in the Ark community, we just call it getting Ark, and we deal with it because, it got to be did. You gotta grind up again. And if you actually get off into the story, in which part of the story tells you that overseers, they are actually create situations to where they will bring people back down to see how well they can survive and redo stuff. So the story is actually really interesting, but I digress. So yeah, when you first load up the map, it'll ask you where do you want to spawn in it. Now in my case, I actually have a player that I can actually spawn in, but we're not going to do that. Well, I'm going to actually show you this part of it, because this is actually what you will really see when you first get on your player creation screen. And as you see on the left hand side up at the top, you got female and you got, well, it's on male, so it won't let me switch over to it. But you got male and you got female. Okay, so you're not gender restricted on here. You can actually have a male or female character, as well as you can reset to default if you mess something up. You can do randomize, and you can get all kind of funny looking characters. It's all your preference. Or if you actually have something made up, let's go back to default, because I hate the funny looking ones. I like looking regular, but for this one we just gonna keep this guy right here, just a normal looking fella. But yeah, if you wanted to save something that you made, what you would do is, well, Lord Jesus, my fault. Yeah, I'm just messing up all the way this morning. But yeah, so you would save a preset right here, and then you'll be able to load that preset from right here. But yeah, and then on the right hand side, you actually have where you can give your character their name, and then create new survivor. That'll take you right into the map. You have the region in where you want to spawn at, and most of the times you actually want to go ahead, like when you first getting into Ark, even if you've been playing it for a little bit and you used to things, you might still want to spawn in the very first area, because typically that's going to be the easiest area that you can actually spawn in. Typically, it just depends. Like if you're playing on something like, I don't know, maybe like Valgara or Crystal. Well, no, Valgara first area is actually easy too. I want to say Crystal Isles is the one. Now, I've played it on Steam. I played Crystal Isles on Steam. I want to say Crystal Isles actually has a rough starting area, so you got to be careful with that. But it just depends. It just depends, really. But yeah, so like I was saying, you typically want to spawn in the first area, and then you can hit create your survivor, which that will take the one that you just made, and it will spawn them. You can download a survivor if you have one previously saved from something else, like you have one actually uploaded, like I do, or you can actually hit respawn existing survivor, meaning like you died and you want your character to come back. But we're gonna do create just for the purpose of this. Yeah, I know it'll destroy my other one. That's fine. And this is what happens. You spawn in just like this. Okay. You wake up. You're on the beach. Because like I said, this is the base game. This is the map that you have with the base game of Ark. And this is where you wake up at for the very first time in this world. Now, normally you actually be in first person, and you can come out of first person. It just depends on what version you playing on and how you actually playing. Me, I'm using a controller because I'm a console guy, so I need a controller when I'm playing the game, even on PC. So for console players, it'll actually be, you'll bring up your radio wheel. You can bring up the radio wheel as well on PC with the keyboard. I just don't know what command that is. But yeah, and then you will go into toggle third person. So you can toggle out of third person, and you can toggle into third person from that aspect. And like I said, once you start off, now might be something that could be a backdraw for you, depending on how you like to play your games. But Ark, it does not have a tutorial, not like a hand-holding tutorial. Actually, it really has no tutorial at all. You just kind of wake up in this world, and you got to get it how you live. Like, it don't tell you what buttons to push or none of that. It just throws you into this world after you wake up, and that's just what it is. But just for this purpose of this video right here, telling you why you should play Ark, I will show you the basics of starting off. You want to use your action key. In this case, it'll be Y, because I'm using the Xbox controller. Hit Y and you'll gather stone. Okay. Now I'm gonna actually start doing a series about this. So I'm not gonna get too in touch with everything. But yeah, you want to start off by gathering some stone, and you want to keep an eye on your weight and stuff of that nature. But then you go up and you punch this, get you some thatch, try to get you some wood off of it, and bam. And as you see, you level up. You level up from doing pretty much everything in this game, even just standing there. But yeah, that's pretty much how you start off, and you will go into your crafting. Like me, I had a character already, so my stuff is already set up. Normally, it's not going to be in folders like this. It'll look like this. So you'll see every engram that you have available to you to make something. And the first thing that you want to make is this pick. That's the first thing that you want to make when you get into this. But like I said, it's all about how you want to do it, because in the settings, you can make it as easy as you want or as hard as you want. You can make it to where all you got to do is hit Y on one rock. Let me find a rock that can actually be picked up. You see how I got two? You can make it to where you pick up one rock and you can actually pick up 5,000 of it. Okay? So just know you can have it as hard as you want or as easy as you want. But like I said, it's a very immersive game, because despite the fact that it doesn't give you a tutorial in the beginning, it's not difficult at all. Like really. The difficulty comes in at how well can you survive, like mentally, because you got to think, like you got to think, and I don't mean think just by a puzzle. I mean you got to think like, okay, what do I need to do? And as you see, you got triceratopses here. You got dinos here, as well as you got some mythical creatures as well that roam around. It just all on what you find. But yeah, Ark, it's a very good game to get into, and if you can actually get into it, you'll end up what you think was 5 minutes, and it'll be 2 hours that you spent into Ark, especially when you get in the building. And I always tell people that if you like Pokemon, you'll like Ark, because the premise is kind of the same. You need to tame dinos to fight other dinos so you can live, as well as you need dinos for other things. Where the second thing I tell them is, if you like Sims, you'll like Ark, because your dinos help you gather resources, because they will gather way more resources than you would, just because they can. That's what they're for. Like you got different dinos that can gather different stuff. They excel at it. Like Triceratops, for instance, if you were to tame a Triceratops, get you a saddle made up for it, you will actually be able to harvest berries and thatch and wood. You can harvest all of this stuff, but the one that it excels at is berries. And I want to say I think it harvests fiber as well. If not, there are dinos that does that. Okay. And like I said, you can build up. And building is limited to your imagination, pretty much. Like you can build whatever you want. Like even if you wanted to build a whole city just for you, you can do that here in the world of Ark. You know what I'm saying? But for right now, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna actually take you over to let's get out of that one. I'm seeing just be not with it today in terms of functionality. I'm gonna actually take you over to the server real quick before I actually end this video, just to show you guys what it looked like on a server and what I actually got going on. So, but yeah, and which now the map option, this actually brings up whatever map that you're trying to look for. It makes it easier for you to find a map that you want to play on. So if you did get into Ark and you said, okay, I only got the base game where I only got the maps that came with it, and I want to go to the island. I want to do the story mode, but I want to be on a server doing it, because a server could be very beneficial to have if you can run into people that's helpful. In which, in the art community, in most cases, everybody is helpful because we like to be able to spread the joy of art and have others to play art with, because it's a fun game. But we're gonna stay on Ragnarok for right now because that's actually where I'm located, my character, for our server, in which you can watch me on the stream using this very same character. Okay, so it's nighttime right now. Now you can adjust the brightness of the game. See, like I say, I'm playing on PC, not just one tap of a button, and there you go. Now you can see me. Well, you probably could see me before I couldn't see. But either way, yeah, this is my character over here, and these are my dinos, or some of my dinos, not all of them. And this is my little base. Now I know it don't look like much, but the aspect of this, in terms of my base, is I actually found a whole island that, a whole island that was not being used, and I didn't realize was ever here on this map in this with this area. And I said, okay, I'm gonna take this whole island and I'm gonna utilize it for my base. So you see what I mean? Like, I can actually, in which something that you can do if you playing with your friends, or if you get on a server and you actually meet up with some people, you can actually make a tribe or an alliance. Either way, whether a tribe or alliance, you can build up a community. And with this island that I have, in all honesty, I could have a whole tribe of people on here, and we can all have our individual houses, or whatever the case may be. But like this area right here, this is the the breeding and imprinting area, because you can actually breed dinos on here. So again, if you like Pokemon, you got breeding in Pokemon, you can breed on here for stats as well. So yeah, believe it or not, you can breed on here for stats, you can breed on here for colors, you can breed on here for whatever it is that you want to breed for. But yeah, this is my area of a base, and like I said, you're not limited to just regular dinos. Like you got flyers, you got land dinos, you got water dinos. Wait, hold on, you don't have the saddle on you. See, bam, and you also got those things over there called obelisks. Obelisks are something that you actually go to use to fight the bosses when you actually have a strong enough army of dinos to take to go fight the bosses after you find artifacts and stuff of that nature. Like I said, Ark is a very deep game. It's an RPG, pretty much. But yeah, and you see, it isn't small. Like, this is open world. There are no load screens once you get in here. Like, the only time you're gonna load somewhere is when you're at the obelisk. Like, that's the only time you're gonna load. But the like Ragnarok, it is extremely huge. It is a huge map with a bunch of different biomes. If you want to be in a jungle, over there by the blue obelisk, that's actually the first area that you spawn in. If you want to be on a beach, it's a beach area over there. Or it's a beach area right here. It's a beach area down there. You got the desert over there. You got mountain terrain with snow and so much. Like, you're not restricted when it comes to art. If you want to build you an underwater base, you can actually do that one as well. Ark is actually a really fun game to actually get into. And I know this is my first Y2 video that I've done like this, but this is the first Y2 video that I had the capability of doing like this. All my other Y2 videos, I pretty much did from my phone. But yeah, so guys, this is Ark. And this is one of the aspects of Ark that I just wanted to dive in just a little bit to let you guys know that Ark can be fun. Now, I know I didn't go off and do no great thing, and was let me get laid in this bed, because last time I was on, it crashed on me. But yeah, Ark is a beautiful game. It has events that go on. Like I said, you got plenty of servers you can get into. Whatever fits your fancy. If you want to battle against other people, like on an MMORPG, PvP is the way to go. If you just want to chill out, relax, and actually build up something nice to have your own, PvE is the way to go. Player versus environment. And it's just, Ark is massive. There's loads of different maps. Like I said, you don't have to get the DLC maps. because Wildcard actually does this thing where in the mod community for Ark, they go in and they find mods, especially of different maps, and they say, okay, we're gonna we're actually gonna sponsor you and bring you into the game and make you an official custom Ark. Because in all honesty, there are loads of arcs out there. That's the whole one of the whole premises of the game. There's a whole bunch of arcs out there, and custom arcs are just those aspects of it. And so you still have in the base game right now. Let's see, the island, and you got the center, Ragnarok, and Valgaro. That's 4 maps right there. And Crystal Isle's going to come in a little bit, and that's 5. So that's 5 maps that you got. One that actually sticks to the story, and 4 others that actually just there for your benefit for enjoyment. So trust me, you're not limited. Okay, you don't feel like you're forced to actually have to pay for something, because you don't. Like I said, all you gotta do is get Xbox Game Pass, and Xbox Game Pass is worth it in itself. I'll do another video some other time explaining why you should get Xbox Game Pass. But yeah, so this was a video explaining why you should play Ark. I'm sorry that it ran a little long, but I just wanted to let you guys know that Ark is actually a beautiful game. We have a great community, especially over on our servers. So you want to have fun. We are a cluster, so it's about 7 different maps that we have in the cluster right now. Okay, we also got a Discord, which will be down in the description below. We got a Facebook group, will also be down in the description below, as well as you can come check me out. I'm changing my schedule up from Monday to Friday. I haven't really finalized it yet, but it's definitely going to be from Tuesday to probably about Thursday or Friday. It just all depends, because I want to be able to get YouTube content out as well. So y'all can come and watch me over on Twitch, which that link is in the description as well. And until next time, guys, it's been your boy Kumano the Don. Remember, be you, go hard, and have fun, and be happy, guys. I will see you next time.